Good morning, viewers. It's Rob Atfield reporting for Port Carling Boats. It's Saturday, July 11th, 2015, and here we are in beautiful Gravenhurst, Ontario for the International Antique and Classic Boat Society boat show. This particular show is one of the largest in North America, usually attracting between 5,000 and 8,000 visitors. We'll see how things go today, but the weather is very promising, high of 28 degrees, so I think it's going to be warm, sultry, and a good day to be out on the water. We're focusing here on a few dippies, as you may know from previous posts or other sources. The 2015 is the 100th anniversary celebration of the disappearing propeller boat, which was basically invented in Port Carling about 100 years ago and had many rebirths in different locations. There are some 300 of these boats still remaining. They're almost like glorified canoes in a sense. The the transmission shaft and the propeller will retract into the hull, allowing these boats to go almost anywhere you could paddle a canoe. We're hoping to see 15 to 20 of them today at the show. It's just after 9 a.m. and already the crowds are starting to thicken up here. Let's take a tour around. Dippies are so versatile that in one recorded incident, 18 grown men sat and stood in one of these boats, and it was still able to move through the water, presumably with the exhaust lying above the water. Neat little race boat here, foot throttle, 16-foot Chris Craft. Built in 1990 with a very big engine for a boat of this size. Moving right along to a fiberglass here. Beautifully restored or maintained, both engine and boat. Splashy color, very inviting. Twizzler. We're looking here, viewers, at a couple of beautifully restored Chris Crafts. I believe these are both sportsmen. Cracker Jack. And hers. Hers is a 22-footer, and I'm sure Cracker Jack is too. Powered by an 8-cylinder, 260 cubic inch, I presume, or horsepower, I'm not sure which. Mercruiser, 1949. Meticulously maintained boats. And just across from the Chris Crafts, we've got a Gravette Sunflash. These boats, I understand, were built between the mid-60s into the early 1970s. I think, if I remember correctly, the last date of production was 1973. Still a number of them around. Here's a beautiful example. Here's a quick pan around of 3 more Gravette Sunflashes, viewers. The boat we're looking here was basically built using a template of a previous Sunflash that was so rotten, virtually everything needed to be replaced, except for the hardware, which was re-chromed. This is 1964, so obviously when I said mid-60s to early 70s, I'm a little off. We'll try and find out for you exactly when the first Gravette Sunflash was built. Here's a 1972 here. Great boats. The owner was telling me that this particular Gravette has had an engine upgrade and it will do 50 miles an hour on the water. This must be the year of the Sunflashes. We've got 3 more on this side of the docks, viewers. I believe most of them were powered by V6 Mercruiser engines. Probably some of the first wooden boats that were built with stern drive power plants on them. Here we have Canada Goose, viewers, from Windsor, Ontario. It's got the lines of a hacker. There's no identification on the boat. Triple cockpit. An older boat, I think. Looks like from the stern end, which I haven't shown you, that it needs a little, or will soon need a little TLC. The bright work is certainly in great shape. Great touring boat, I'm sure. We're looking at a Blackbird Gentleman's Racer, folks. This boat's been featured on one of our previous blog videos. Beautiful, beautiful boat. All the modern technology that you could imagine built into this. Automatic hatch lifter. Very powerful engine. I think it's a 600 horsepower if I remember correctly. With a retractable mother-in-law seat at the front. Real eye-catcher. Beautifully finished. Once again, that's from Blackbird Boats in Port Sydney, Ontario. Here we have, on this end dock here, I think a selection of different manufacturers. I'm sure this is a Shepherd. His Bad Habit too. Beautiful, beautiful cruise boat, especially for handling big water. Little Duke runabout here. Beautifully maintained. Also a great touring boat. Dukes and Seabirds were, I wouldn't exactly say the everyman's boat in the 30s, 40s, and 50s and 60s, but more affordable than some of the more expensive custom-made vessels. These were production boats and constructed accordingly. Nonetheless, many have made it into the 21st century in good condition. I'll pan around, viewers, just to give you a scope of this show. If you weren't able to make it to Gravenhurst this summer in 2015, July the 11th, I hope you might consider coming back another year. As I mentioned earlier, it's one of the largest shows in North America. I understand in excess of 100 boats are here on display this morning, along with the Field of Dreams and beautiful antique cars, which we'll get to later. And lots more to see and do here. Let's check out these two docks in more detail. More dippies here too, viewers.
As well as ditch rigs, we're also going to have a long deck come out as well. A long deck come out as well. Help your hospital would be nice.
We're looking here at Vic 2, viewers. One of the most exhaustive, expensive restorations I think ever undertaken on a wooden boat. This boat was for sale several years ago for $250,000. I think it's virtually been rebuilt from scratch. Restorative work doesn't get any better than this. We're looking here at a 1968 Century, 17.5 footer, powered by a Ford 285 engine. Her name is Lake Mac. One does wonder about sealing the interior wood panels off with vinyl and so on in terms of air circulation. Having just in the last year purchased a boat myself and having to rip the carpeting out with a rubber underlay, I've come to realize that certain wooden boats need a lot of air circulation. Hopefully this wood has been protected on the interior so that a whole lot of air circulation isn't required. Very comfortable looking boat. Another beautiful triple cockpit here, viewers.
If we go back in time and think about the ditch
No descriptive plate. Well, there is a descriptive plate, but it doesn't tell us the manufacturer. My guess is Hackercraft, but I could be wrong. 23 footer, 1941. Once again, pristine condition. Here's a pretty stunning Gravette, viewers. Beautiful opening wooden windscreen. 22-footer, powered by a Chev 300, 1968. Upholstery looks brand new. Beautiful, beautiful boat.